Today it is Friday, November 17th. It is 29 degrees here in Minneapolis, Minnesota. The low is 28, the high is 44, and right now is officially my favorite time to seed here in Minneapolis, Minnesota. So, for most of you folks, I'm going to guess that this information is a little bit atypical, where most residents in the cool season areas of the United States are seeding in one of two planting windows. Either in the early spring, as ambient temperatures are starting to hit 50, 55, 60 degrees and are on that upward trajectory, or in the transition from summer to fall when things are starting to cool, 80 degrees, 75 degrees, 70 degree days, and we know that we're on a cooling trend where our lawns are not too heat stressed. That being said, my favorite time of year to seed is during the late fall as what's called a dormant seeding. The key to a dormant seeding is soil temperatures. Remember, these seeds are not going to germinate in the air, so ambient temperatures are not important to us. They germinate in the ground. The temperature that I look for, because my sort of benchmark, so to say, is 45 degrees Fahrenheit, where most of our seeds will germinate at 55 degrees or higher. Staying below that 45 number gives us a nice little leeway, such that we don't have to worry about our grass seed germinate in the winter, where it will just surely die off from the frost. When our soil temperatures are at 45 degrees and they're on that cooling trajectory, we can rest assured that they will lie dormant through the winter and come out and germinate the following spring. This also functions to make a dormant seeding a very cost-effective and eco-friendly practice, where all of that water that we're saving is good for our environment, and of course the water that we would be applying to our lawns is not free. So if you're looking to save your wallet and you're looking to help your environment, a dormant seeding is going to be your best friend. So let's talk about how to actually perform the dormant seeding. So for a lot of you folks, myself included, your lawn might be looking a little bit something like this, unless you've dealt with the leaves already. And that's actually not a bad thing. We can use these leaves to be a friend to aid you in your establishment process. So the first step is going to be to rake them away, but this is only temporary. The reason we want to rake them away is the number one thing that our grass needs in order to establish come springtime is seed to soil contact. Remember, any seed that's not actually touching the soil, not actually entrenched in that soil, is not going to establish at all. So after my leaves have been raked and my grass is now exposed, what I'll do personally is I like to do a quick mow of the lawn, nice and low, raking away the clippings. The reason we want to do this is to expose as much soil as possible. This will really improve your seed to soil contact. After that mow, I go out and spread the seed. Always remember, follow the directions on the bag of seed. Every mix is going to have a different pounds per 1,000 square feet. If you're working with a Kentucky bluegrass, it might be in the 2 to 3 pounds per 1,000 square foot range. If you're working with like a tall fescue, it'll be much higher in the 7 to 8 pounds per 1,000 square foot range. So always follow the directions on the bag. After your seed is spread out, you're going to want to rake it into the soil, and this is where those leaves are going to come back into play. I like to use the leaves as a free germination blanket, just a light covering over the area where we're not smothering it by any means, but we're also making it a little bit harder for critters to find the seed, and we're providing a nice blanket to keep that seed in place. The reason I love using leaves for this is they'll break down over the winter, over the spring, to bring some much needed nutrients back into your lawn. So multifaceted benefits here. I'm not the only one that loves a dormant seeding. This practice comes highly recommended from the turfgrass experts at the University of Minnesota. It is just a fantastic option for folks that know they want to have a nice lawn, know that they need to put some more seed down, but don't have access to that water that is needed to make sure that seed takes nicely in the spring or in the fall.